Okay guys, let's go with sheet 14. First question is a couple of fractions questions. Remember, when you get asked a fraction question and it's an add one, we need to deal with the whole numbers first of all. So the 7 and 4 is the first thing we need to deal with. And if we add those together, that gives us an answer of 11. Then we deal with the fractions. So looking at the bottom number here, we see a 3. And we see a 6 here. So that means my new bottom number is going to be 6. Work out the new top numbers, add them together, get your final answer. Now the wee problem we're going to have here is that once you've done your add, this number on the top is going to be top heavy. So remember, we need to do 6 into there, which will give us another unit plus how many sixths. Part B, multiplying fractions. Well, we know to make them top heavy. So 5 times 4 add 4 is 24 over 5. Do the same with this fraction and do a little bit of cancelling. So you should find that the 24 9 cancels, the 5 and this number cancels, get your final answer. Question 2, removing brackets. I've written it a wee bit different this week to normal, but the principle's still exactly the same. So you're going to do 3x squared times 5. That gives you 15x squared. Then you're going to do 3x squared times x. So that'll give you something there. Then we do negative 4x times 5, which is a negative 20x. Then we do a negative 4x times negative x. So that'll give you something else. And then lastly, we need to do 2 times 5 and 2 times negative x. Tidy it all up for your final answer. Question 3, decrease £620 by 12%. So first thing we need to work out is what's 10%. So 10% of 620 is, then we get 1%. We double this, add them together, and we've got what 12% is. Now the question, if I spelt it properly, says decrease. So you take your £620, you take away whatever answer you've got for your final solution. Question 4, factorizing. Remember, we're trying to do these as AMs in the mornings. So what numbers can we times together to make 15? 1 and 15, 3 and 5, 5 and 3, 15 and 1. Now we just need to work out which of these pairs do we need that makes 8. Okay, once we've got that, we can then do our brackets. Oops, sorry, moved that. Do our brackets. The second one, we know because it starts off with a 3x squared, we know that inside the bracket is going to be a 3x and x. We just need to work out what the next part is. So once again we draw a little table, 3x and x. This time we're looking to see which numbers can we times to make 4. And we know that that is either 1 times 4, 2 times 2, or 4 times 1. And then if we do a little bit of cross multiplying, 3x times 4 is 12, 1 times x is 1. Can I use these numbers to make negative 1? Nope. So it's not going to be that one. And just go through the process until you find the one that works. Question 5. Now I've designed all these ones this week so they're all BODMAS. So the first thing you're going to do in the first one is negative 2 times 2. So you end up with 2 something. This one we have to do 4 divided by negative 2. So we end up with negative 8 plus something. And then the last one, we've got a multiplication there and we've got a division there. So we work them out, that leaves us with 1 plus something, take away something, to get the final answer. Question 6. Remember, the volume of a cylinder is V equals pi r squared h. So we've got a big cylinder, and then we take away the little cylinder which is inside it. What do we know from the question? We know that the radius of the big cylinder is 0.5 metres. We know the radius of the small cylinder is 0.4 metres, because that must be half of the 80. And remember, the question says do it in metres, so I've changed it to 0.4 metres. And we also know that the height of the cylinders, because I'm now standing them up, is 4 metres. So if I plug all of these numbers into the formula for the first one, repeat the whole process for the second one, do a big takeaway sum, and we'll get her answer. Question 7. The house prices. Well, if there's an increase of 1.7%, that's 100 plus 1.7, which is 101.7%, which as a decimal is 1.017. Okay, now if I repeat the process for 2.4, 4.7, 4.7, be very, very careful with the last one, because it's a decrease of 0.8. So that's 100 take away 0.8. Get that, turn it to a decimal, you'll have another answer. So we've now got 4 multipliers. 1.017, 1 point something, 1 point something, 1 point something, and then the last one's just 0 point something. Now if you times all of these numbers together, along with the starting value, which we know is £152,000, then we can work out what the new average house price is going to be in Scotland. Last question, 8. The heartbeat increased by 80%, so that's 100 plus 80 is 180%. Turn that into a decimal, 1.8. We know the finishing heartbeat was 126. So what did it start? So we're going back in time, so that's going to be a reverse percentage. So that's 126. You know what sum to do when it's a reverse to get your final answer. Hopefully this week is a wee bit easier for you guys. Hopefully. That's us.